Hey guys, Sean Bougie. I am in the room here a little early because I need somebody out there to tell me they can hear and see me okay. If somebody would do that, if you go to the chat section and do that, that would be fantastic. If somebody could just let me know you can hear and see me okay, guys. There is a little delay between you guys' responses in the chat room and me being able to see it, just so there's a heads up there. Let's see. Yeah, don't be shy, guys. Let me know you can hear and see me okay. And remember, this is a question and answer, so this is your opportunity to stump me. Awesome. Thank you, Robert, for letting me know. This is your opportunity to stump me. Hello, Leigh or Leah. I can hear and see you great. That's fantastic. Good evening. Hi, loud and clear. This is good. I'm hoping you guys are going to continue. You are good. Thank you, Leo. I'm hoping you guys are going to continue throughout this. Hey, Himanshu. Sorry, I hope I did that correctly. I hope you guys can continue to get through to me and ask a lot of questions. This is your opportunity to ask questions. Oh, that is Bella sticking her head up there. She'll be with us this evening. COVID-19, North Carolina is still shut down as far as a lot of the businesses here local. Our crew, of course, continues to work because our stuff can all be done from home. And I've got a crew I can actually trust to do that. I can hear and see you. That's fantastic, Deborah. Oh, thank you, Himanshu. Okay, guys, a couple of questions I get a lot. And by the way, remind me if you would later. Hey, Greg. Remind me if you would later, and I will definitely get into, I know one of the things we've been lacking recently is story time, where I tell you guys something interesting that's happened that we didn't expect. But before that, let's just get into that. First of all, you guys can go to SurplusFundsRiches.com. Check us out. You can check us out online and on SurplusFundsRiches.com. Click on products. Sorry, I'm trying to read comments at the same time. Click on products, and then it'll have a static page to click on. You're going to be required to put your name and email in. The reason we did that is we were for a while there getting spammed. We think it was from a competitor. They were jacking up our disk space, our quota on our website. So we made it so you have to sign in, and that eliminated that. And thank you, Leo. I love, thank you, Jennifer. I love telling the stories too, because it tends to teach the point, right? Everybody responds a little better than that. It teaches the point a little better, or gets the point across a little better, and makes it a little more interesting. So I'll definitely, you guys remind me later on, and I'll do that. I think the main question on everybody's mind right now is the impact of COVID-19 and how this is, how we're doing. First of all, our hit rate went up, and this is something I haven't even spoke to Jeff about, and he's a moderator right now, kind of in the background, working in the background. I hope. I think he is. I can't tell. Normally he's in here with me. He's the right-hand man. We're basically partners in this business, and he is just smarter than me as far as front line and knows it better than I do. He handles the support, and he handles basically underwriting the files as they come in. I got a message in there. I'm not going to ignore you. You said something about somebody answering my support questions. We have 3 business days max to answer support questions. As long as you use the support system as it was outlined in your ebook, we won't have any trouble with it. Oh, you didn't send me up for moderator, no link. I did, Jeff. Oh, well, that's okay. New student bought your course 3 weeks ago. I must say it is detailed and tough, but I love it. Great. Can we split the $497 for tax overages of 2 payments? I can't. And I'm just going to start jumping into these questions if you guys are going to hammer me like this, because that's good. I love having this back and forth. You need to understand why I can't split that up. Costs us money. It costs us money to start you. We make our money on the back end. We put deals together. Now, I'm going to stop answering questions for a second because this is important. Last couple of weeks, as a result of us changing the way we do our COVID-19, a lot of people jumped in with us. Guys, got a phenomenal hit rate on mail, calls, whatever's going on in the background with my crew is working extremely well, especially with mail right now, to be honest with you. People are reading their mail. I've got 16 people call back in the next day, and that's a result of just a week and a half, 2 weeks. So that's phenomenal hit rate where they're actually willing to speak with us. And I'm gonna have a conversation with them. I'm getting a lot of deed flip too, where it's pre-tax sale. And real quick, this is great because Creed just asked me a question. With county courts being closed until further notice, do we still have more time on deed flips? Still trying to figure out, okay, if they were set up for tax deed sale, for tax deed auction, not tax lien sale, tax deed sale. Very important you understand the difference there. If they were set up for that and it got delayed, and you have a list of those properties, you can get a list of those properties, and a lot of times you can't. And it was delayed, not canceled, just delayed. You can still turn it in as if there's a date on it. We're doing this for now during COVID-19. The surplus funds, we also obviously are still going after those because, guys, we can go after surplus funds depending on the state for years and years and years. And you can get an older list and we can work that. That's not an issue for us. One of the things I want to bring up too before I forget it, and this is something that's happening because of COVID-19. There are obviously competitors out there. Now we crush them in my opinion simply because we give an upfront buyout to people. Sorry, I gotta get rid of this. We give an upfront buyout to the claimant of 10% of the gross, and then the rest of the money that we agree to on the back end. All this is detailed in the ebook as far as percentages what we recommend people offer. But we will we're definitely going to keep this open because these states aren't opening up yet where we're going to extend it for that. But right now we're giving for surplus funds, we're giving that initial buyout plus we're giving them more money as we go. So we've always been crushing the competition, but here's the thing to remember. And I've seen this because I was a realtor for years while the market would get really, really good. And then what would happen? And we don't have a saturation issue at all with overages or the deed flip, by the way, or any of the programs at all. But what would happen? Well, people would get a little fat, they take less margin, start charging less. Then they would get to the point where they were basically barely feeding themselves as finders. COVID-19 crushed them. They're going to be out of the business before this is over. So it's going to open up even more. Obviously, I'm paying these people bills while they're working it. So I'm going to have a much higher conversion rate than anybody else on the planet. Not only am I giving the initial buyout, but I'm giving them more as we go. That is a really big deal, guys. Sorry, I'm having this weird, bizarre thing happen here with my computer. It's just driving me absolutely crazy. All right, I'm going to stop for a second and go through some of these questions. Alexandria, Florida, we do work Florida. It's a separate program. You can get it either with the Florida Remote is the Florida Mortgage and Tax Overage Program. You can get it either in the Best of the Best bundle or the Ultimate bundle. All right, here we go. And keep them coming, guys. I would like to get your Surplus Partnership 16. However, IDI data told me they will not start an account unless I have a business up and running already, and TLO is not really returning my calls. And you said TLO may have more than you need. Yeah, IDI is not, I don't understand that issue unless there's something on your end. But IDI data has not been a problem for us, guys, at all. I don't know why you're having an issue. Now, when they say business, if they started that requirement, then they probably will take a DBA, which will cost you $10. You can usually do it online at your local county courthouse. It's called a DBA, doing business as. It's also called an alias or a fictitious name. But it's basically a way to do business under another name other than your own, and does not require you to have an LLC or a corporation. So if that's what they're talking about, ask them more questions. I cannot split payments, guys. It costs us money up front to get you started. I can't split payments. And to be honest with you, and this is going to sound harsh, I'm sorry if it does, if you don't have the $500 to get one of the initial programs by itself, you're probably not in a good position to start your own business right now. I'm going to tell you to wait and just concentrate on getting through this issue, this crisis right now before you do it. I'm just not going to sell. I'm not going to try to sell you something, guys. I found that if I have to try to sell the program and sell the opportunity, then I end up having to sell you on working it. And I'm not going to do that. Planning on sending my next file next week. That's great. Guys, Florida is available. It's just a separate program, and we don't have any saturation there either, but we want to keep it that way because it's just one state and it's a separate program. So obviously we're setting up a barrier by making it where you have to buy one of those bundles, either the Best of the Best or the Ultimate bundle, in order to get the Florida remote, the Florida Surplus Funds Program. Awesome, thank you. Highest Florida, okay. Guys, please don't ask me the same question twice. Sean, for what it is that you offer, I think it's an amazing price. I have a question. I'd like to hire a personal trainer to walk me through actually surplus funds. I would be more than happy to pay. So listen to me, guys. Jeff and I talked about that. We talked about going on circuit and also doing one-on-one. We'd have to charge you like $5,000 for a day, just because we are making our money on the back end. Now listen, this is very important for people to understand. We make our money on the back end putting deals together for the folks that are sending stuff into us, right? So it behooves us to give you all of the tools necessary. You get the initial PDF with a link and a password to the videos training as well, and support is included. It behooves us to give you everything you need to succeed. Ken, not making fun of you, you don't need a personal trainer for this, guys. You don't need a life coach. You don't need any of that. I've joked before in the past where I say, okay, don't be a butthole. Okay, now I'm your life coach. Guys, just work it. It's really not that difficult, especially with the video training. Florida market's looking great, Apache. Please, what's the deed flip? Is it available in all the states? Thanks. It's available in states that have tax deed sales, which is, I'm going to say half of them. I'll let Jeff, tell me otherwise, but I think that's about right. Basically, it's us buying houses that are going into tax deed sale, and then we turn around and flip them as is where is. We pay off the taxes to stop the foreclosure, give the owner some money, and then turn around and resell the property. At this point, what we're doing too with that, because of COVID-19, is we're giving them money up front, giving them the property more money when they leave, and also more money if it takes us longer than we would have thought to get through that because of COVID-19. We'll give them money as we go, so we'll basically pay their bills while they're waiting, while we wait to get them out. And I'm going to give them at least a second amount of money right before they're supposed to move out. That way they're going to move out, because it used to be I'd give money up front, that'd be enough for them to move, and then they'd get out of there and they'd give the rest of the money. We have to do a cash for keys so they don't leave. Now I'm giving them more money right before they're supposed to leave, because I know that they've spent the money because people are out of work. So they need more help. So we're still paying the same amount of money, guys. I am not gouging. I'm not taking advantage of this COVID-19. I wouldn't do that. I'm giving the same amount of money I would have prior to all this happening. And just so you guys understand what's going on here, registered deed departments have not closed. Okay, so for deed flips and flipping property, you can still, 99% of those counties out there, record the deed, which is what I need to do. And I will, of course, send it and pay off the tax folks. Most of the tax departments, real estate tax departments, are also open because they're the ones that are bringing money in off the real estate taxes. So obviously, those guys are considered essential personnel because they're bringing money in. All right, let's see where we're going here. Please, what did he ask me here? Okay, no stimulus check yet, no unemployment in Florida yet. Okay. Speaking to a client, we are 50-50 split. Jason, have you bought our program? Because it tells you not to go into that. That's something we negotiate for you if you have a Premier 16. Okay. Oh boy, there's a lot of questions backing up. Let me answer these real quick. How do you tell if a county list of excess proceeds contain tax sales or mortgage foreclosures? Are tax sales marked by a parcel number and mortgage by a case? I'm trying to find more mortgage since tax sales have been delayed this year. Thanks. Again, Chris, for excess proceeds, get an older list. This is only been going on a couple months. But typically, wherever you got that list is going to tell you whoever held the sale. That's going to be your indicator as to what type of foreclosure it was. Okay, it could be held by the sheriff, the county. If it's held by a bank, obviously, bank's trustee, the attorney. It's obviously a mortgage foreclosure. Ask the people in charge of that list. And like I said, a lot of the folks in the courthouse that are associated with this type of a list or this type of money creation are actually still working. I'd really like to hear your outlook on what you think is going to happen in the next 12 months. Do you see as a wave of foreclosures, tax foreclosures? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I also, however, see that wave is going to be eaten up really quickly. Two things are happening right now, guys. And by the way, you're hearing, Cal, that's a great question, by the way. You're hearing two different sides of this right now. You're hearing doom and gloom. Oh my God, it's going to be the next Great Depression. We're screwed, right? What's everybody's hearing? And a lot of this is politically driven. The other thing that you're hearing right now, I'm going to put her down. It's driving me nuts. The other thing that you're hearing right now is, no, everything's going to be fine. Well, let me tell you what's happening. In my opinion, this is a combination of Martin Armstrong's cycle predictions and friends and having been in the business, and the fact that I get calls from investors every day that have worked with me in the past that are freaking out because there's nothing to buy at auction right now. The slingshot's getting pulled back right now, guys. The tension's getting built. It's getting built up because the demand did not go away from buyers. Now, granted, listen, there were marginal folks in marginal employment that got destroyed in this and are getting destroyed in this. But that's not everybody. That's not everybody. And the folks that are still around that are doing okay, there's pent up demand right now. I'll tell you what I'm saying in Charlotte. You go by apartment complexes, they have self-directed tours because they can't shut down because there's such a demand right now. Because the realtors local can't show property, not in person. They're allowed to do it virtually, which good luck getting a buyer to commit to something virtually. But you're seeing this a lot. So you got all this pent up demand from residential, right, and buyer type folks, which means the investors are dying to get their hands on stuff so that they can set it up to sell to them, right? So the investors are sitting on their hands and the money is in their mattress, not making them any money right now. And they're freaking out. So when this thing opens back up, especially on the deep flip and the redemption and the game changer programs, not just surplus funds, guys, we do more than that, more than the overages. But when you see that open, when we open that back up and I start throwing property at investors, they're going to go great because they know they can get rid of it. They know they can get rid of it really, really fast. All this pent up frustration. Now, the other side of that is this going to have a lasting effect? Absolutely it is. It's going to change the way people look at this, and they're going to be very, very careful. Luckily, we've got a lot of key things happening right now, such as mortgage rates being so daggone low, I can't believe it. I just bought the house I'm in now. I closed in February and got 3.37 as my 30-year fix. And that was on what used to be called a jumbo loan. So I'm just telling you, that's phenomenal. Right now, I'm seeing less than 3 in some instances, especially if you buy it down. So we've got all this pent-up frustration happening. There's pent-up buyers, I should say. And guys, one of the things people forget is a very large portion of the buyer pool right now is the young guys, the millennials, the young guys out there that have good jobs. And they're not afraid of real estate. They're just not. They're buying it like crazy. They didn't go through all this stuff that other people did, and they're buying it like mad right now. So do I see a wave of foreclosures coming up? I do, because people don't understand. They got these stays on their foreclosures, right? What they don't understand is that money, that doesn't mean they don't have to pay ever. It's just being added on down the road. And they're, oh my God. The tax guys, the guys that are going to tax sale, they are realizing, you know what? I just got really lucky with this. And when I'm calling and saying, hey, I'm going to pay your bills while I'm waiting, I'm going to give you 2 months to get out instead of 1, I'm getting great response. All right, what is the best program to work in Florida? Either the Florida Remote or the Florida Deep Flip, Leo. I got to tell you, I like the Florida Remote, which is the tax and mortgage overages program. But the Deep Flip is really strong right now. Florida is an interesting mix. You go into some towns and they're just incredibly well off right now. They're doing just fine. Where you've got, they're just fine. Everything's going. Gainesville, just fine. Orlando, just fine. When I say just fine, I'm talking relatively, right? You got other areas that are getting hit. But the best program to work in Florida this second, I'd still jump on the tax deed and the game. I don't know what Jeff says, but I'd still jump on that because. So anyway, what I'm saying with that, the reason I brought that up is we still have that bailout bundle there, and that includes the Florida Deep Flip, I believe, and that's just a phenomenal deal. It's a great time for you to get involved. What kind of payment does IDI data cost per search? Barry, just Google IDI data and look, but I pay probably less than most of you guys. I do a really extensive search, but I prepay them for volume. I guarantee I'm going to send them a certain amount of volume. So it's about 60 cents a search, the cheapest crap in this business for a really good system. Is there a guarantee? No, everything we do works, guys. So as far as the guarantee of partnership, absolutely, Michael. Either the P16, the Premier 16, okay, or the National Surplus, that's for overages, okay? Yeah, there's a guarantee. As long as you fill it out like we want and send it in, you're good. As long as you follow the rules, yeah, we'll partner up with you. Our way. You got to research debt and ownership with National Surplus, send it in, we take it from there. The other one, you research debt and ownership, that's the Premier 16. You also find them and have a warm conversation to make sure they want to talk with us. We determine splits and all that as we're talking to them based on our attorney costs in that area and a lot of other factors. We give them a good split. We give them money up front. That's what really makes our system a hell of a lot more powerful than anybody else out there. Is I'm not only giving them money up front, but now during COVID-19, I'm paying them as we go. And by the way, when we put one under contract with you guys, we're also sending it out. This is a great question coming up. We'll also send you out a $500 check as soon as we put it under contract. We started doing that, and we're still doing that. And we're going to continue that with folks that buy, during this issue, during the next probably week or two, obviously. Hi, I'm in Texas. Can you work with the Hispanic market? Just curious. Yes, Israel. I have a bilingual person on my staff that handles that with me. We basically talk together on that. Are most of the courthouses closed? Yes, Keisha, but again, that's not the whole courthouse is closed, guys. Most of the registered deeds departments and the land records departments are still open, okay? The reason Game Changer still works, by the way, which is going after pre-mortgage foreclosure properties, another one of our programs. The reason that is still working is while many of the mortgage companies are saying, oh, we'll wait on foreclosure, they are still doing notice of default. That's in Florida, Ohio, and North Carolina, where that works. And that's just a great way to go on most courthouses. Let's see. Unable to see question posted by others in this chat. Yeah, Robert, we stopped doing that. It was screwing up our feed. So I'm reading the questions so you guys know what's in there. Is there a separate bundle for all of Florida? No, Jennifer. Here's the deal. The best of the best has all Florida programs, the remote and the deed flip, and it's $847. It also has the national deed flip and the national surplus funds. And one more, I can't remember the name, but there's 5 total. It's literally $2,500 worth of programs for $847. If I was to sell you Florida by itself, each one would be $497 a piece, be $1,000. So the best of the best is a deal, period. They can get Florida deed flip in the bailout. Yes, they can. Thank you, Jeff. That's what I thought. And that's fine. Well, shoot. Sorry, buddy. It's $597. Yeah, you can get the deed flip. So I'd really push you guys to try doing that. Okay. If you've got the overage program and you don't have any of the deed flip programs, you really need to look at that bailout bundle right now. We're having a hell of a lot of success talking with owners of property. And so the flipping is really a big deal right now. Overages, we're doing just fine. We're doing better than we were before this all hit. However, right now is a unique opportunity with deed flips and the rest of the bailout bundle. Thank you, Jeff, for reminding me of that. Is there a separate Robert unable to see? Yeah, okay, wait. I sent in 1 overage file and 2 never heard back and not on the list. If you send in the file correctly, it's on the list. If you didn't send it in correctly, Jeff got back to you and told you what needed to be fixed, or there was an issue with it when you first turned it in with the submissions department and they let you know. If not, if that still doesn't work, use your support system as it's set up in your book and we'll get back to you. All right, I've been trying to get that list, but the courts are closed. I'm looking hard for it. Listen, Deborah, I'm not sure you bought our programs because, one of the things we teach you how to do is to find it online, and we're finding them left and right, no problem right now. So that's what I go after. Ready to research, Gwen? Awesome, get rolling. Do your programs offer the scripts and templates for letters and forms? Yes, Jennifer. Both overage programs, National Surplus, which pays 8%, only requires you research debt and ownership, and Premier 16, which requires the same thing, but also asks you to find the people and have a warm conversation, make sure we're willing to talk to them, pays 16%. Both of them teach you not only how to do it on your own, but of course it gives you all the scripts and so forth to also work with us too, and scripts working on your own. Guys, understand something. We're only charging enough to cover the cost of the price, the cost of starting you. So we're making money on the back end, so we have to give you all the tools to succeed. I mean, it's really that simple. Apache, I don't understand the question. The 220. I also have the bankruptcy gold mine and want to know if I send letters out or not, with the bankruptcy courts function as usual. You're probably gonna have a slight delay on making claims on bankruptcy gold mine from the bankruptcy courts. Probably not a huge one, but a slight delay. I would send letters out and get it started. Why not? What is the general turnaround time when you reach out to the owner after we let you know they're interested? It's the next day, if that's latest. If it comes in and I'm there and I'm at the office usually till around 4. If it comes in, no snicker engine. If it comes in, it's all cut out. If I've got something else I need to do, if I need to run by a property. But yeah, I get them. I'm immediately call them. And sometimes there's a slight delay for you guys know I'm getting feedback on that from Premier 16, simply because I'll call them and leave multiple messages before they call me back. In your email reply, when comparing the best of best versus national, you said Florida is easy to work program. Yes, it is, but you can afford to get B of B. What is the Florida program? The Florida program is the Florida remote. Our national surplus and our Premier 16 do not allow you to work Florida. It's a separate program. The best of best does include it. It works both mortgage and tax overages. That's the Florida remote section of it. And Florida deed flips, which is buying property pre-tax sale. All right, I'm working in Georgia. Very difficult to get mortgage foreclosure excess is very difficult, as Kelly only does tax sales. What is the list is very easy to get. How much of the tax is extremely easy to get, so get that list, even if it's no longer on work it. Trump will let that happen. No depression, stock market doing great. Jennifer, I'm a libertarian, so I'm not going to take a side on that one way or the other. But I think that if you think a leader can determine the course of something that's a worldwide crisis, I'm a libertarian. I have no problem with Trump. Do those of you who purchased an older version, what is the price of the Premier surplus? To those of us who purchased an older version, it's the price, Lynette. We launched Premier Surplus Funds January 1st, and it was at a launch price. We always do that one day each year for a new program. And you had the opportunity, everyone was contacted, you had the opportunity to purchase it at that time. It's now the price is the price. If I come across a potential deed flip client on the street, I would just fill out the worksheet the same way, right? I'm assuming. Mark, you still got to do all the research online, and I don't know how you're going to come across them on the street. You're going to have to bump into somebody that's coming up on a tax deed sale. This is one of those questions, I brought this up before, where it's, hey, what if, let's wait and see that, let's cross that bridge when it happens. How about that? What does a researcher do? Donald, I've covered that earlier. There will be a replay on this. Do you have an unclaimed funds program? I do. Paul, we don't often offer that. It's called the Ultimate Finder program. It may, if you've already purchased one of our programs, it may, I'm not going to say it is, it may be available by clicking on the Past Buyer Loyalty Discount button, which, by the way, does not work for our flagship programs, just certain programs. So that's, again, the person asked how much is it if I bought before. Anyway, check that out. It may be on there. I'm excited. Good, Mark. You guys should be excited. What's the best program to work for a beginner, Sharon? Hold on, let me see something real quick. Okay, Jeff knows why I just did that. All right, what's the best program to work for a beginner? Honestly, I think the easiest one is Florida, because Florida, as far as with their tax deed overages and tax deed sales, so the Florida remote, working tax overages, not just mortgage, but the Florida remote. And I want to come back to the mortgage in a second, guys, that it was brought up earlier. But anyway, the tax overages and the tax deed sales, upcoming tax deed sales for the deed flip in Florida, they publish the title work online for you. So that portion of your research, which is 90% of that, is done. Right now, I'm hearing about deflation. Some are saying the house prices could fall to about half. What do you think? Robert, I think they're out of their freaking mind. I think what we're going to see is a drastic reduction in the rate of increase, but I think we're still going to see a nice even increase instead of going like this, right? It's going to go like this. So no, house prices are not going to drop in half. Listen, right now, I need to say something. And again, libertarian, right? So I'm not necessarily a conservative or a liberal or whatever, okay? I'm a libertarian, pragmatic libertarian, not a philosophical libertarian. Anyway, a lot of this stuff you're seeing online is the media just beating the hell out of stuff, and there's a political motivation there. I'm just telling you, it doesn't matter who you vote for or what side you like. The media is full of crap, and they're trying to get your attention and sell papers and sell time online and the rest of it. What is the best program to start with in Ohio? Again, guys, these are national from home programs. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter. Hi, Sean. How do you overcome resistance to higher fees on mortgage and tax overages? Higher fees. Dave, don't understand the question. Is there saturation in Florida? Absolutely not, Claudia. I will tell you this, folks that buy the program, that get the best or whatever. You know, we call it a coloring book. It's the easiest book to use. We give examples of certain counties in there. People do the path of least resistance, and they don't realize that those examples work in all 67 counties in Florida. So oh my God, I got to work this county or that county. And as a result, they will bump into somebody else turning something in when they got 66 other counties to work. So don't necessarily work the counties that are used as examples because they all work the same. What's the best county in Ohio to work? I'm not going to get into this, guys. Ohio's a great county to work. Our system works extremely well there. There is no best or worst county. With D-flip, what happens if you can't get the house sold? Do you have a backup exit strategy, and how does that work if we are the one who submitted the deal? Kel, what if you can't get the house sold? I have 2 examples of that happening to me. Actually, no, I have 3. One, I bought 3 lots. It was in a Florida county, and this was very early on. They were golf course lots. They were extremely undervalued, and I bought them. It was pre-tax sale. What I didn't realize is there was, in that particular city, there is this crazy overlay where they automatically just go, hey, by the way, I kept this, cost us $1,500 per person that lives here to take care of the roads this year. So you got to pay that too, on top of your real estate taxes. So that's why the guy was so anxious to sell me 3 golf course frontage lots for, good Lord, I think it was 10 grand. It was a total of 10 grand in taxes owed against the total between the 3. And I couldn't sell those. I don't have an exit strategy. I'm extremely good at making sure the research has been done. I do my homework up front. But yeah, occasionally I get burned, and that just happens. There was one where it was in Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, and they literally, here's part of one of your stories here this evening. Bought the property, had the mobile notary get the deed signed. They're actually in the property, get the deed signed, take pictures of the house inside now. Mobile notary apparently did not smell something, which was the fact that they were using their crawl space as a toilet, covering up the hole of the rug. I kid you not. I literally deeded it back and said, have a nice time. You know, it's up to y'all. It's your house. I'm back again. I don't want anything to do with this. But I did actually pay them, and I was out the money. Anyway, I ended up letting that thing go for tax sale, and I think I brought this up in the last webinar. It's the smallest overage ever created. I got a notice from the county saying that there was an overage of $9 for me to collect. Yeah, that's not good. But Cal, yeah, it's extremely rare that happens. When it does, hey, you know what? I'm usually out around 15, 20 grand. There's a condo in Orlando. I was out close to 30. You know, what happens to us? Well, you know, you don't get paid. Now that's extremely rare, but I don't just cover you and go, hey, I lost 30 grand, here's 4. Is it still approximately 3 or 4 months payment on the national surplus? It is. Do you have an IDI rep you work with, Ty? No, I don't. I could just Google and give him a call. John, 847 Best the Best. And that includes Florida Surplus, which is the remote, Florida Deed Flip, and C Flip Master. That's right. That's a great one to work. I'm sorry. Can you explain the bailout, Pan? We're bailing out the folks that we're working with in terms of the bailout bundle has, listen, there's a link that should be in here that you can click and you can go there. Go directly to our products page. The bundle is listed. It's called Bailout Bundle. And it's a great one. It lists everything that's in it. Go there if you would. Hello, I was looking into Alabama and ordered an excess tax sale list from the Alabama State Information in 2020 manual, not saying you a file older than 2.5 years, or received an email. She mentioned they have a 3-year time frame to redeem the property. Okay. I've never seen the redemption that long in Alabama. I've seen that in Texas. Can you clarify the Alabama State Information? Am I supposed to go by the date this 3-year ends? First of all, if you've got a list, go ahead and work it, and we'll work through it. Check out the statutes. Don't go there. Literally put in Alabama excess tax sale statutes and look that up. Because they change from time to time. I'm not blowing you off. We haven't had much sent, if any, from Alabama in the past. That would be a great opportunity for you. Sorry for the link. Okay. Are you on? I am. Do you have a special price tonight for all of the programs, Pam? No, I think the add-ons are cheaper right now. Jeff did that about a day or two ago. So if you get one program, you can add another one on for cheaper. We don't typically discount our flagship programs because we don't need to, and we're charging enough to cover our costs, and that's it. And we need to have our costs covered. Is the Bailout bundle and the Florida programs worthwhile if on the West Coast? Michael, again, guys, from home, online, don't worry about where you are. You're the bomb diggity. Thank you. No, neither has happened. It wasn't kicked back. I confirmed it was received and it's not on the list. I sent in the support ticket a few days ago. Yeah, like if as long as you use the support ticket system, Jeff has 3 business days to get back to you. And typically, it makes sense that you said 3 days ago, something like that, because typically we get the most support hit on Monday, and that'll be the delay toward later in the week when you get response rate. After the 8%, what is the next best program to get involved with? I'm new to real estate. Thank you. Alexandra, Jeff likes the trifecta program because it gives you 3 different options you can partner with. We pay 8% for the National Surplus Funds program, where you're just researching data and ownership. We pay 15% of the net on the deed flip. I believe redemption's in there as well, and we pay a very good hit on that as well. Why not get either the trifecta or the best bundle? Also, the best of the best, that includes Florida. And one thing I didn't mention is Florida. You can work tax or mortgage overages, easy to get the list, okay? And we pay 10% of the gross, and you don't contact the people. Is there going to be a replay? There is. Regarding Premier 16, after reaching the owner, and I turn in a completed file, don't hear from you, does that mean you are still trying to contact the owner or still negotiating? Absolutely. Well, I hear from you if he declines. Yeah, Jim, if it's yes or no, I'm going to let you know. What counties outside Florida do you suggest we not work in the overage program? First of all, again, Jerry, Florida is a separate program, so it's all included in certain bundles. What we not work? We will not take files from you guys from Oregon, Washington State, or Colorado for a reason. We hate the states. Other than that, I'd say work anything except Florida separate. We can work Florida if you have Florida. This is an off-topic comment. You may want to consider either wearing a mic versus talking into the open mic, or change your location. The echo, that's because I'm in my office at the house right now. So it's difficult for me to understand. Fair enough. Is the new price for the surplus fund 16% on the company website? It's not $490. It's $497, Jay Sean. We pay 16% with that program. Yes, they do free title search for tax surplus in Miami-Dade. There you go. You talked about buying a dead LLC. If the LLC owns the house that has excess proceeds, after buying the LLC, can you collect the proceeds? Yes, I think I'm asking this right. Yeah, Randy, we actually made a program for that called the Zombie Business Reviver. It's an add-on for some of our programs, and that works extremely well. Don't tread on me. Libertarian Sister Jennifer, thank you, man. Don't tread on anybody. Can we add an additional programs price 100 anytime? No, Paul. It's a buy one, get one situation. We're rewarding people for buying and starting up initially and trusting us in that. You can't come back later. Oh, no, I want to do this for this. No. The bundles and the add-ons are at point of purchase. I bought Premier 16 on January 5, so I missed the RLP membership bonus. How do I get the membership, and how much does it cost? I think it's about $200 for Brittany. Go to rightfulownerproject.org, and you can sign up right there and pay them. Indiana allows 10% finder fees. I suggest a structured buyout. I focus on overages 30,000. When I explain fees, they go silent. I focus on overages 30 grand, and when I explain fees, they go silent. Dave, if you bought our program, work with support as outlined in your ebook. but we tell you how to deal with this. And guys, we're not finders. We're buying them out, and because of the buyout, and because we actually hire attorneys even when it's not necessary to do so. First of all, they're going to work with us more than anybody else. But secondly, guys, we're not limited to that finder fee. Like they can do it themselves. And Dave, people can always do it themselves. We do pretty much full disclosure, and they still work with us because they don't want to work with the court, and we're giving them money right away. I don't know if you don't have my program or what. What is the general turnaround time we can expect to receive the 16% once you've closed the deal? Once we close the deal with the owner, as far as putting them under contract and hiring an attorney, it's usually 2 months out. That explains why you don't deal with vacant lots, LOL Creed. We'll do vacant lots for both surplus and defloat. I'm not going to work commercial property though. Not with defloat. Surplus funds, I don't care. But how do I search names on a bankruptcy pacer system that have been concluded and renew it without just paying for the entire alphabet, which would cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars? Search for names in the bankruptcy pace. Michael, the bankruptcy goldmine teaches you to get a list of monies being held and then work that list by plugging those names off that list. Microbuild still a good option to connect with your contact on the e-books. Yeah, Creed, I like Microbuild still a lot. I like IDI too. Microbuild has a really interesting algorithm. Something's working extremely well because they're really good at getting us possible relatives and associates. And there's always an Aunt May. I've said this before. Always an Aunt May that wants to be in everybody's business. So there's always a family member that helps us with that. And we'll typically offer them some money for that. You know, say, hey, I'll give you $100 if we contact them and they work with us. I'll give you $100 just because you helped us do it. How much longer will we be offering the tax overage program, Apache? It's on there now. We only pull it down if we think it's just time for us to relax and work when we have really good, strong crews going in. And people typically, by the way, graduate out of our program. 6 to 8 months, they've got some money in the pocket. They feel good about it. They're going to try doing it on their own. Can this be done by Canadians? Mo, I don't know. Canadians. Yeah, it could be done by Canadians. Look, if you're going to do it on your own, we used to say, hey, you can't do this out of the country because you had to have the TLO, because you need to be able to check judgments. That's something we do for our researchers, regardless which program you have. But you can also just hire the attorney and, in the week before you give the first buyout payment, structured buyout payment, you have the attorney double check title to see if there were any, judgments against them. So you don't need an online judgment system. I haven't gotten a response back yet. Submission was sent on the 13th. Jamaica, search the list and refresh your page because we're not slipping at all. My crew is working their tail off. If you've got an issue at that point, use support as outlined in your email. Is the overage program a hard program for some seniors to understand, Deborah? Deborah, I'm gonna reformat that and say the overage programs are hard for people who are not at least basically computer savvy. If you can't open a PDF in your email or you can't Google something, I'd say don't get the program. Which program do you say you're now paying us $500 upfront for approved files? No, when we get one under contract, Jody, we'll give you $500 at the point of contract. That's for any of our partnership programs. I've been searching counties of PA for tax overages. I see that some counties use LandX to search register deeds. You have to pay for the service. It can get costly with page. I have any experience with this. I've never run into LandX. I've been able to look up records, register deeds, or land records departments in Pennsylvania in the past, so you must have a different county than me. By the way, tax overage lists are fairly easy to get in Pennsylvania. However, I will tell you this, and everybody needs to listen up. Everybody needs to listen to me on this. If there's a barrier, for instance, Georgia charges people to access the Register of Deeds Department on a statewide basis. The state charges you to access the county information. Okay, if you're running into something where they're like that in Pennsylvania, where some of the counties are using this software that you have to register for and pay, other people are going to bail and not pay for it, and it's not going to be something ridiculous. So I would recommend you do it. Can I do this in Arizona for the overages? I am in Phoenix. You certainly could. However, let me tell you something, Wayne. Arizona, in my instance, is pretty crispy, particularly Maricopa, because if you put in tax sale overages or excess funds in Google, Maricopa occupies like a third of the first page, and that's just too much damn. It's getting beaten to hell. You do this from home online. And my best way to explain this, guys, is I'm in North Carolina. Okay. If I was to work this in North Carolina, or I was to work this in Minnesota, the difference would be like 1/1,000,000th of a millisecond because it's online from home. So do not get OCD about working in your local area. What is the best program to start for beginner? Claire, I'd say the Florida program is the easiest. That is included in the best of the best bundle. Or you can get the Florida D-Flip, that portion of Florida, which is also extremely easy because they publish the debt in their title work online. And that's in the Bailout bundle right now. If not, just go ahead and get the National Surplus. It's a great program to start with. Zombie is not on the price sheet, then we're not offering it right now. Sorry, got a little notice there. Is the National Redemption Program not a part of the best of the best? Thought the best of the best was the National Trifecta plus Florida, North Carolina. No, they're separate bundles, John. You can get National Trifecta and ask. I mean, you can get the best of the best and add on the redemption. Thank you. I do have your program. I'll re-listen. Is that 2 months turnaround the same for the Surplus 8? That's no, because I said 2 month, Paul, because it takes a month for us to reach people, put the deal together, get our documents back. In the P16, when somebody turns it in, they've already had a conversation with them. So it's usually going to take us just a couple of days to get the documents back. So that whacks off a month because those people, the folks that were researching, partnering with us, actually took care of that. Awesome deal. Thank you. Yes, it is an awesome deal. I know you will not partner on overages where a probate is needed. If I want to do myself and the heirs have been determined by the court, what advice can you offer to avoid problems? Thanks. And I think somebody doing myself used to decide on doing a probate where all the heirs are known per the court order. All right, Jay. I mean, just work it. The programs teach you how to do it on your own. So work it as it's listed there, even though you're working with an heir. Obviously, you're going to want to talk to the executor or executrix. Okay. If I find a tax sale or mortgage sale with, say, 90 grand overage and don't find satisfactions for 3 of the mortgages, is it possible to avoid mortgages will? Hey, Beverly, your question answered on that. Here's the deal. If they're not canceled, they're not canceled. You can't just go, there's 90 grand there. Maybe they're not canceled. They're not unless they're canceled or satisfied in the court. You got to consider those mortgages are still in force, okay, at the time of the sale, which means they have a priority claim, which means the deal is dead. Stop chasing BS. Stop going down rabbit holes. I know it's a lot of money. So what? While you chase that, you could put 3 $30,000 deals together. Will you sell a house to your students if they want to buy and give them a good deal in California? Claudia, if we picked up, it's funny you said that. I was just talking to Jeff. If I picked up redemption property or a tax deed sale, I would offer that to the person that sent it in first before anybody else. If you guys think I should start putting that online when we have a property that we're selling, I certainly consider that. What is the time limit for overages in California? Cindy, this is a two-part answer. First of all, it's very difficult to get mortgage overage lists because California, like some states, actually allow the trustees, which is the attorneys for the mortgage company, to handle the distribution and holding that money over a certain period of time, surplus funds from mortgage overages, okay? They're not gonna give you that list. So, and the time limit is until they feel like they need to send it to the state. Tax is different. 1 year from the sale, actually, let me make this a little clear. 1 year from when the deed is recorded, the county will consider any claims that were made at that point, this is tax overages, will consider any claims that were made up to that point and distribute the money as they see fit. Okay, you got a year to make that claim. I think I'm actually getting a knock on the door, which is kind of freaking me out. I know you can look at government courthouse sites. Some are, Bella, come on, baby. Some are hard to find. There are some fresh, up-to-date companies who offer overage lists. Is this okay? Thank you. Yeah, you can use the list. It's just understand there's a higher probability that somebody else is going to be working it. Since the surplus partnership 16 and the national surplus are the same price, would you consider allowing access for P8s to turn in P16 files? Yeah, Gerson, buy the Pro Pack. It's $597 instead of $497. You get both of them. So for 100 extra bucks, you get $500 more worth of programs. Yes, please, for selling the houses, you got to create If I find all but 3 mortgage satisfactions on a tax or mortgage foreclosure, is possible 3 or 2. Guys, knock it off. This is Beverly. If there's not a satisfaction, it's still in place, period, the end. You can't just assume that maybe it's gone and just wish it away. Unless it's recorded as satisfied or terminated or canceled, it's still there. So you just can't do that. Guys, I was going to go into a story mode here, and I may just do a follow-up video and let you guys know where it is on that, because we're running out of time here. And I really just want to go over the important thing for me to go over right now with you guys is any questions that you have, because I'm not sure how much longer, maybe a week, maybe less, maybe a little more, that we're going to be paying money up front to the researchers when we put the deal on a contract. I'm not sure how long we're going to handle that. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and ask questions now, because I need to wrap this up. That's my dachshund who thinks she's 180 pounds. I have a contact. One moment. I'm sorry, guys. This is COVID-19. I got to work on the house, right? Hold on a second. Hector. Hey, I'll open up to the game. I'm on a webinar right now. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. The wonder of working from home and having the painter that touched up the house you bought decide he wants to come by and pick up a ladder. Okay. I have a contact whose condo was foreclosed on in 2014 in California. They have a lot of the documents. Okay, I don't understand. Listen, buy the program and turn it in with the documents and so forth that we need, and we can work it, Let's see, the BK Goldmine course sounds interesting. Can you elaborate? Go to SurplusFundsRiches.com, and on the right side, you put your name and email address in there, if you would please. And that'll give you the Insider's Guide, which is an overview of all of our programs. All right, let's see what else we got. I love Bella. Me too, Dave. She's a pain in the butt, but I love that girl. No problem. Ha ha. Okay. You guys are enjoying it. Hey, I'm going to come back with the story. It looks like we're done. If you guys still have questions, please do me one favor. Go to SurplusFundsRiches.com, right? Put your name and email on the right side. I swear to you, it'll get you on the newsletter, but you can unsubscribe at any time. Come on, it's not like I'm going to track you down and something evil is going to happen, or there's black helicopters flying over your house. Come on. Anyway, do that. Get the Insider's Guide. Read that. And then if you have further questions, hey, call me, right? I'm trying to partner with you guys. I'm available 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 704-791-9398. Thanks, guys. Hope everybody has a good night.